I may have the same head on this, which is horrible, which is the first thing I know is we're all going to be dead in 40 years.
That thought goes through my head daily. Daily. I am obsessed with my own mortality. And I'm thrilled to hear that you are too.
So number one, we're all going to be dead.
Yeah.
So it's funny, like when people say to me, my daughter's running into the room. You'll be dead in 80 years, by the way, if it's any consolation. I'm only going to go 40. Bye, Sonny.
Damn her for getting to see flying cars.
Yeah. So the first thing is somebody says to me, CBS has decided to make your sitcom. My first response is, we're all going to be dead in 80 years. And then I think to myself, you know what? That's an inappropriate response. Paint a smile on your face and tell someone how exciting it is.
Yeah.
And then when the person says, isn't this awesome? I think to myself, we're all going to be dead in 80. We're all going to be dead in 40 years. And then I go, yes, it is going to be awesome, but I'm really just thinking about them.
You have to secretly envy. You know, I'm an atheist, not to be a dick, but just because it seems like
I'm an atheist too.
Yeah, it seems like the most likely scenario. But you got to kind of envy the people who are living in this warm pillow of
I've said it a million times. You know. Money's not an issue with you. You have millions and millions of dollars. You would gladly pay $10 million.
Cell regeneration.
No. Forget about science. Just to believe that Jesus Christ was your personal Savior.
It's a good question.
And that when you died, you moved on to a better and happier place. And when your dog died, or your dad died, or whoever died, you would be with them. Now you can't...
I don't know that I would trade that off.
You would.
I'm not sure I would.
Well, you're using your brain.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying
you trade in comfort, but you know if you traded that in, there's a lot of other stuff that would go with it.
No, not in this scenario. This scenario, I just need a cashier's check for $10 million.
Yeah.
You get to go on whoring and fucking and boozing and doing your debauchery that somehow eludes the FCC.
So I can keep all of my other intelligence.
All your faculties are the same, except for that if you're in an airplane and it's plummeting toward a mountain, you're just thinking to yourself, you know what, great, I'm going to be with my grandfather.
Yeah, well, that's why religion is so powerful. Because that's a mighty tempting offer.
It is the greatest. Like, I make fun of religious people all the time, but secretly I'm jealous. I mean, imagine that.
Yeah, it would be. It's a blessing, ironically, and a curse to be so pragmatic, because it's you do miss that cushion that a lot of people seem to have.
Well, I mean, you look at it this way, Donnie. Yes.
Why is it the man-made God that atheists have to bag on?
Well,
if you look at the universe and everything, I mean, there's got to be some kind of power or God.
Donnie's a retarded Jew, by the way.
Well, no, you called me the New Age Jew or something.
But everything about the construct of the universe is chaotic. But did
it get there by itself?
Well, listen,
I'm not into like man-made Bible religion, but there has got to be some force that created all this. It's too complicated.
Okay,
but then you get into questions of linear time, and
you're arguing with a smart guy, not Ray from the Valley. Can I say this? Here's the whole thing about God, in the universe and who created this and all this kind of stuff. For me, I'm just a referee. I'm just sitting up on my stoop. I'm watching the tennis game, and I'm saying, is it fair or is it foul? Is it in or is it out? And I don't approach, is there God, any different than I approach any facet of life, which is show me a little proof and I'm in.
Yes.
Show me no proof, I'm not in.
But we're surrounded by people who don't make that distinction. If you say to them, there's a monster living in my closet, you can't see him, but you got to have faith that he's there.
Right.
You would say, well, that's ridiculous.
Well,
you're out of your mind. You should be locked up. But the same thing does not apply to there's a guy living on a cloud.
Right. And my point to everyone is
we suspend our
right.
powers of logic.
Well, we do because we're aware of our mortality, and that's what freaks us out. It's a pretty easy math equation, which is the very first time somebody saw somebody die, they went, holy shit, that boulder could have landed on me, or that saber-toothed tiger could have taken me.
It's always a saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah. So a woolly mammoth could have trampled me, or worse, raped me. So the point is...
It's starting to feel like the Flintstones here.
People went... that bird was a garbage disposal, or the pig, or whatever it was. Point is somebody said, look, we better come up with something because I can't sleep at night because I'm worried about a boulder landing on me. And then, God forbid, pardon the pun, but when you have kids...
Well, right now, your daughter thinks that you're God and you know everything.
Right.
And when she gets old enough to realize that you're just as fucked up as the rest of us...
Maybe more.
That's right. She'll say, unless she thinks about it a little more, she'll say, boy, I need something to fill that hole.
Right. Oh, yeah. Uncle Seth is going to come by and explain to you about decomposition and being eaten by worms. But the point is when you have kids, then it really kicks in. Mm-hmm. Like, if something should happen to my child, that feeling of, you know what, the Lord had a plan, he wanted her or him to come with him, blah, 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 we'll be reunited somewhere at some point. I can understand that that's powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, because there could be nothing more devastating and there's no equal to that in terms of dealing with that as a human being. And I understand why we needed to block those out, why we needed to block that out as human beings. And I wish I could buy into it, but I can't.
I think you can still have... I mean, there's the best scientists in the world will say at the end of the day on this issue, you know what? We don't fucking know. And you can still be... You can still have a sense of wonderment, and you can appreciate... You can be positive and optimistic and appreciate, the mystery of it all. There is a way... Carl Sagan was that kind of guy. He was such an upbeat guy who, on his deathbed was like, no, I still think this is it. You know?
He still did not believe in
higher
power.
But at the same time, he was so taken with everything and the task of finding out the real answer.
Well, and listen, I agree, and I would say to all my religious friends who insultingly ask me, what's to stop me from stabbing somebody or raping the nanny?
But religion notoriously claims that they invented morality. They didn't. Morality exists in animals. The golden rule. You have bats who, if one bat is sick and the other one's, get some extra food for him, when he gets well and another one gets sick, there's the expectation that he's got to do the same.
I agree.
Religion canonized morality. They were the first people to write it down.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. They act like they invented it, and to me, it's built into your construct, and it falls under the no shit umbrella.
There's a million examples in nature. It's hardwired into us.
Yes, I mean, obviously, you don't do horrible things to other people because it's wrong, not because some deity has told you that it's wrong. But the thing that's interesting about this, and I always bring this up, you were bound for one of those 9/11 flights that flew into the tower, and I love the fact that you don't give a shit about it, and that's exactly how I would be, which is it was just happenstance and circumstance, and you missed your flight, and the flight didn't miss one of the towers, but most people would go on a crusade about it or lecture,
it's because we're
about it.
We're, as they say, we're significance junkies. We want to attach significance to everything. This must have happened for a reason, and that's just not the case. It's not coincidences. This is Julia Sweeney's one-woman show. She beats this into the ground. Coincidences do happen. They do happen.
No, and it's the ultimate form of narcissism to say, this happened to me for a reason. Mm-hmm. Because if it happened to you for a reason, what about the other 250 people that flew into the fucking tower?
Exactly.
Did it happen to them for a reason?
Exactly.
Were they bad people?
Exactly.
I love that concept of, I must have been spared for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the 189 people on the plane and the 3,000 people in the tower would love to hear the reason why you were fucking spared to go on and bang another 22-year-old hostess at the Holiday Inn.
I'm sure there were plenty of people on that plane who were much more,
They had kids.
Yeah, exactly.
They had life that had a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it, because that is it's narcissistic to think that
you're here for a purpose.
Yeah.